It begins in 1892, deep inside the Edo forest, where the heat clings to your skin and the air tastes of damp earth. 4 porters haul a pale-skinned stranger through the undergrowth. Sweat glistens on their backs. Mosquitoes hum like tiny saws. He's impatient, snapping through his interpreter that he must reach Benin before nightfall. But night here isn't just darkness. It's when the forest remembers it owns you. The lead porter raises his machete to clear the way and stops. Ahead, a tree looms, its bark streaked black like veins, its roots curling above the soil like grasping hands. In hushed Edo, the porter warns that the place is cursed. The stranger chuckles and orders his camera, posing beside his kill of the day, a grass cutter, still warm, its blood falling in slow, fat drops. The red seeps into the roots. The forest exhales, as if waking. The camera clicks. The air goes still. No birds, no wind. Then, a wet snap, a scream. One porter is yanked away into the green. Another vanishes before anyone sees what took him. The interpreter runs until his lungs tear, never speaking of that night. Beneath the soil, the tree has fared well, and it remembers. If you think this tree is done claiming lives, you're wrong. And if you love chilling stories like this, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next twist. The forest thins. Roads cut through what was once untamed. On this land now stands Sterling Academy. Clean walls, bright paint, manicured lawns. But under the foundations, something ancient awaits. Morning spills into the dorms. Lami burrows deeper under her blanket while the alarm blares. Across the room, Amara scribbles in her journal. Exam results are out today, and for her, the grades decide everything. Miss Kanyin fixes her hair, lost in dreams of Paris. The principal smiles at a note from his daughter, Chisom. Don't forget to eat. Elsewhere, Finn is schooling a junior on romance. Uti slices through the pool, chasing a scholarship, and Fiona, supposed to be timing him, is lost in her headphones. The day hums with routine, but in the air, something feels heavier than it should. The echo of heels cuts through the hall as Miss Kanyin walks to the stage, each step sharp as a metronome. The principal speaks about time. How is the one thing you can't renew? The results are pinned up. Excited chatter dies into murmurs. Amara's eyes land on a C in French. For most, it's a small wound. For her, it's the death of Harvard. She whispers to herself that they will remember her. But the question lingers. For what? Quick question. What's the one exam or challenge you'd do anything to pass? Drop it in the comments. And let's see how Amara handles hers. Tension flares. Lami snaps at Finn, mocking his father. Finn grins, pretending not to care. But everyone knows his soft spot. Amara. She reminds him that his father's influence can't unlock her future. Across the room, Chisom quietly advises her to focus on her studies. When Chisom opens her locker, she freezes. A condom sits inside with a cruel note. Finn's laughter cuts the air. Her cheeks burn. She lunges at him, fury spilling over. Mr. Mustafa breaks up the fight. The condom sits on his desk, like a stain no one will claim. By midday, the sun beats down on the garden, where Chisom, Amara, and the others shovel manure in silence. Mustafa says they can stop if someone confesses. No one does. The soil drinks deep, and somewhere beneath, roots shift as if listening. The staff room hums with low voices, the stale air smelling faintly of burnt coffee. Teachers are making bets on which students will fail. Amara's name is spoken without hesitation, as if her future is already sealed. Then, from the corner, another voice, quieter, colder. It's in this school they will bury you. The words cling to her skin, like smoke she can't wash off. The cafeteria is a storm of clattering trays and overlapping voices. Amara tries to call for prayer, her voice barely rising above the din. No one listens, until Finn's voice slices through. "Shut up!" The chatter dies instantly. In the lunch line, Mustafa teases the students with easy charm, but his eyes hold something unreadable, almost predatory, when he offers Miss Kanyin a ride, in a direction that makes no sense for him. She hesitates, studying his face. Then she nods. Mustafa's car hums down the road, warm air drifting in through the windows. Their laughter is light, but between each joke, silences stretch just a little too long. They pull into Miss Kanyin's compound, where Chisom waits by the gate, clutching test papers like a shield. With a flick of her hand, Kanyin sends Chisom home with Mustafa. His smile at the order is a touch too eager, the kind that asks for approval. Inside, she pours a glass of wine. The first sip is still on her tongue when the phone rings. The principal's voice is calm, almost casual. 9 a.m. Tomorrow. My house. We need to talk. No explanation. Just the weight of being summoned. Night presses in around the dorms when Lami slips into Amara's room, grinning with the kind of mischief that always leads to trouble. Finn has found a hidden spot, an abandoned site by a tree that local whispers call cursed. Amara refuses, but Lami knows exactly where to press. Friendship, loyalty, guilt. By the time the sun is gone, Amara is following her and Finn through the forest. The ground is soft and damp beneath their shoes. They reach it, the tree's trunk swollen with age, markings etched deep into its bark. Finn shrugs off the stories, but says the patterns match something he saw in an old library book. The night air is still. Then the branches creak, like something breathing. And this is where everything changes. Stick around till the end. Trust me, the tree isn't the only thing that is cursed here. Morning sunlight glints off the principal's car as Chisom washes it. Mr. Martin arrives, speaking to the principal in low tones until she's waved away. Miss Kanyin enters. The principal's voice is measured. The school is understaffed, and exam papers have been leaked before. This year, someone must guard them. Someone he can trust completely. "You're the only one," he says. Her pause is long enough to show she knows what he's really asking. The road smells freshly cut grass. Amara and Chisom walk toward the principal's home. Amara rehearsing the line she'll use to drop French before it buries her. The door swings open. The principal steps out, Miss Kanyin at his side, gripping a sealed brown envelope. Petra, the school dog, pads into view, nails clicking against the tiles. Kanyin freezes. Her pupils widen. Then a scream, sharp, panicked, as the envelope slips from her hands. The folder drops to the floor. Amara crouches to help, her fingers brushing bold, unmistakable words. Exam papers. She doesn't react outwardly, but the spark in her eyes says she's already thinking ahead. The principal shakes his head. Worst case of xenophobia that I've ever seen. Amara smiles faintly, but her mind is busy rearranging the pieces. The school is a swirl of polished shoes, handshakes, and polite laughter. Finn's father sits like a wall of stone in his chair, his uniform stiff, his gaze harder still. Uti passes, earning little more than a flicker of acknowledgement. Then Miss Kanyin walks by. His eyes find her and hold too long. A quiet excuse, and he rises from his seat. His wife watches him go, her smile thin, her eyes sharper than anyone realizes. The classroom is still, the afternoon sun casting bars of light across Miss Kanyin's desk. The door creaks open. The general steps inside, pretending confusion, his voice smooth. She offers to show him the way. His hand darts out, gripping her arm and pulling her in until his breath grazes her cheek with a touch that makes her skin crawl. I'll find my own way. He lets go, and the silence after is heavier than his grip. She knows what just happened. She also knows what the world would choose to believe. Lami sits on her bed, eyes red, knuckles pressed to her cheeks. Her father says she'll fail WAEC, that New York is already slipping away. Amara tries to soften it. You're smart. We'll make it. But then her own truth slips out. Harvard will only take her if she conquers French, a subject that feels like quicksand. They laugh about opening a tailor shop instead, but the sound is brittle, breaking on the edges. Amara's knock is light. Her opening smile is lighter still. But once she's inside Miss Kanyin's room, her words sharpen. She knows the exam papers are here. She wants to see them. Kanyin's reply is flat. You're asking me to cheat. I'm asking you to save me. Amara fires back. Then the blow. You haven't gotten your dreams, so you're taking mine. You'll die in Nigeria. The silence afterward is deep and ugly. Then the door slams behind her. In the hallway, Amara crosses paths with Mr. Mustafa. She offers a quick lie about being fine and slips away. Inside, Kanyin folds in on herself, tears spilling. Mustafa kneels beside her, his voice low and warm, promising air, escape, a night away from ungrateful students and poisonous parents. She hesitates, then nods. The embrace is slow to end, the only softness in a day full of sharp edges. They agree on Saturday night. Outside the door, Amara listens, still as a shadow. The moment she hears Kanyin won't be home, something dangerous begins to form in her mind. The pool ripples with laughter and splashes, the air thick with chlorine and sun. Amara sits apart, a French book open in her lap, eyes unmoving on the page. Her latest grade, 52%, sits like a stone in her stomach. Fiona tells her to relax. Amara's voice is steady when she says she's seen the final exam papers in Miss Kanyin's hands. Fiona warns that if she's caught, Harvard will be over. Amara doesn't flinch. Without those papers, Harvard's gone anyway. Lami leans in, agreeing. The plan forms quickly. Saturday night, while Miss K is out, they'll break in, copy the papers, and put them back. One problem. Amara doesn't know how to get inside. Later in the cafeteria, she clears juniors from Chisom's table and admits the truth. Her Harvard letter is conditional. Chisom shakes her head until Amara reminds her of the day she ruined her own skirt with ketchup to save Chisom from humiliation. That memory softens her. She agrees. Finsway comes in after a screaming match with Miss Kanyin that ends with her hand across his face. Mustafa pulls her back. Finn turns to Amara with a smirk. I'm in. The crew gathers in a tight circle. Chisom refuses to help unless Finn apologizes for the condom prank. He does, grudgingly. Her job? During French lessons, sketch the trunk's lock. Finn, get a duplicate made. Uti, find the fastest way to break it. Lami, prepare masks. The rules are simple. In, copy the papers. Out before the exam. Miss Kanyin steps out in a red gown, eyes catching the streetlight. Mustafa waits with a small box, a birthday necklace. The pickup pulls away. Minutes later, 4 figures move toward her darkened house. Finn scans the yard. Where's Chisom? She came in, dogs in tow as though she was out for a walk in the park. Amara slips the door open. Finn and Uti follow. Outside, Lami and Fiona keep watch. Uti strikes matchbox strips against the lock. Nothing. There must be a spare key, Amara mutters. They start tearing through drawers, cupboards, the air filling with dust. Mustafa's pickup wheezes and dies on a dark stretch of road. He pops the hood. Miss Kanyin holds the flashlight, her lips curling into a smile. Actually, I'm enjoying this. Every second they linger is another second for the break-in. Still no spare key. Finn slips into her bedroom. A moment later, the sharp scent of urine fills the air. He grins. For him, this was never about exams. Mustafa coaxes the engine back to life. Miss Kanyin laughs softly. This is the most fun I've had in weeks. Miss Kanyin's night ends with a kiss in the pickup. Her shadow falls across the window. Finn and Uti bolt, leaving Amara behind. Miss Kanyin steps into chaos. Chairs overturned, lights flickering. Amara, hidden, watches her go to the exact spot where the papers are kept. Outside, Chisom hears they left Amara inside and storms in. Miss Kanyin freezes. Someone is here. Her hand closes around a kitchen knife. A crash of glass draws her toward the sound. In the yard, Petra growls, teeth bared. Miss Kanyin bolts for the trees. By the time Amara and Chisom make it outside, the dog is gone. Deep in the forest, Miss Kanyin trips, her skull cracking against the old Iroko tree. Blood slides into its spiral carving. Morning brings a grim sight. Chisom finds Petra's lifeless body. At the village bridge, a bikeman brakes hard. Standing before him is Miss Kanyin's ghost. And behind her, the silent corpses of every dog the village has ever buried. Mustafa arrives at the staff room with flowers, only to find Miss Kanyin absent. In chemistry, whispers spread through past notes. She hasn't shown up. One reply carries heavier news. Petra is dead. Finn warns Amara to keep her head down. That evening, Mustafa visits Miss Kanyin's apartment. The chaos inside remains untouched, and a knife lies outside. Amara and Chisom stop by. Neither has seen her since Saturday night. Back at school, a taunt about the flowers escalates into a fight. Dragged before the principal, Mustafa finally says it. Miss Kanyin is missing. Security confirms the state of her apartment. That night, search parties comb the forest. In the quiet hostel, Lami makes her way to the bathroom. Flickering light, a shadow shifts. The door creaks open. Red shoes gleam faintly before the blade strikes. She makes no sound. The next morning, the school gathers to mourn. Amara tries to speak about Lami, but chokes on her grief and leaves. In her room, she burns the stolen French exam and collapses on her friend's bed. Outside Miss Kanyin's apartment, Chisom finds Mustafa. A passing groundskeeper pushes a cart of withered crops, muttering about unexplained blight. Among the dead leaves, Mustafa spots Miss Kanyin's necklace. It leads them to the forest, where a massive tree stands marked with fresh blood. The groundskeeper freezes, saying only that his grandfather will explain. At the pool, Uti's final lap is interrupted by a dark figure beneath the surface. He vanishes without a sound. That night, the school gathers for a candlelight procession. Fiona cannot stop crying. On the road, Chisom reveals the mounting deaths and insists on answers. Baba's farm is failing like the rest. He speaks of the tree of life, once used to imprison spirits, later fed human blood in desperation. A fatal mistake that binds the victim to the tree. Fiona's car leaves the school, only to be struck from above. The vehicle flips, glass shattering into her skin. She dies instantly. Back at Baba's, he tells Mustafa the tree must be destroyed completely. The truth emerges. Some had tried to use it as a weapon. Mustafa resolves to end it himself. In the library, Amara digs through brittle pages on the cursed tree. The PA crackles. calling all students back to their hostels. Curfew falls like a shadow. Panic ripples across campus. Phones buzz with frantic parents. Security sweeps the grounds. In the courtyard, Chisom is cornered by her father. Mustafa steps in, taking the blame. The principal's fury is sharp and public. He fires Mustafa on the spot. Chisom tears free and runs after him into the dark. Okay, place your bets. Do you think they'll survive this night? Comment yes or no before we hit the ending. Finn sits hollow-eyed, the weight of his sister's death pressing in. The principal, searching for Chisom, finds Amara instead. She tries to explain about the tree, but he storms past, blinded by her father's desperation. Regret shadows Finn's face as Amara warns him to focus. A faint scrape at the door draws her closer. When she opens it, Miss Kanyin's ghost fills the frame. Her scream shatters the silence. Finn throws himself in the way, giving Amara time to flee through the window. But the ghost hurls him aside like nothing. His body lands hard and still. Amara and Chisom meet on the path, clutching Baba's warning. Destroy the roots. End the curse. Mustafa joins them, axe in hand. They march toward the looming silhouette of the tree. Miss Kanyin waits. Mustafa draws her away, while the girls soak the roots in fuel. A memory slips from his lips, soft and deliberate. French lessons never finished. The ghost senses danger, strikes, and sends him crashing to the ground. The girls try to ignite the tree with an insecticide flamethrower, but the sputter dies in their hands. Chisom steps forward, but the ghost tosses her aside. Amara is lifted by the throat, air freezing in her lungs. Chisom lights the axe, hurling it, but the blade is swatted away. Gunfire cracks the night. The principal stands there, firing into the ghost, shouting for her to release his students. She falters, then drives her hand through his chest. His body folds, lifeless. Amara seizes the burning axe. In French, a quiet apology. The throw is clean. Flames leap up the bark. The ghost's scream is ancient and inhuman, but as the fire eats away the curse, her features soften. A final whisper, a bad dream, and then she is gone. The tree collapses into glowing embers. The forest exhales. In a new school, Amara finishes her French exam, calm and certain. She knows the cost of ambition unchecked. Far away, in the blackened earth, a green shoot curls skyward. The curse stirs again. Whether Miss Kanyin is free, or something worse now breathes beneath the soil, remains unknown. So, what do you think? Is the curse really gone, or just getting started? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this recap, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next twisted story.